Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another Wednesday and welcome to Women History Month. I found out watching the recordings, then I always start the same way. I'm so boring, really. Elva, how you doing?
Great, Susan. Just waiting for this presentation because we are going to learn a lot about which women or the women that change our world or they change the way we see the world today.
Yeah, and it was really difficult, even though we have five Wednesdays, we choose
Mhm.
that, okay, in some point we need to see what women we're going to be presenting because the 4 Wednesday of each month we have Sales Intelligent Webinar and we are coming back this month of March.
Mhm.
And we like why the women that we choose are because all of them except the last one, Malala, all were between 1900 and 1940.
Uh-huh.
And all of them changed the way women are today. For most people, doesn't know, but 110 years ago, on the 1900, women didn't have the right to vote. Women didn't have the right to get divorced. Women
No.
didn't have the right to own a property. Like
Mhm.
if you got married and you decide to get divorced, either you escape or
Yeah.
you cannot modify anything.
No.
So, and believe it or not, the war changed a lot of things. The First World War changed a lot of things for
Mhm.
women because men need to go to the front and women need to go to the factories. Actually, MPA was the 1940s, where the Levant, uh, where they start studying how women act on the factories and how to minimize the injuries and how to minimize how women were working in the factory. So the women that we chose this month and next year maybe going to be another one. It's one, the first African American millionaire who was on the Guinness record, the first women who fly solo around the world, and it was so sad that we lost her before to see what she couldn't have done and the way she accept his her husband on marriage was really
Mhm.
funny. What she says to him when he proposed. Another one was Coco Chanel, that she revolutionized that the wheat dress. She freed us from the corset and from clothing that are not practical, and women start using pants. And Malala, then I always destroy the name that she is in our generation. She's 23 years old. She received a bullet on the face, and she's still fighting for the rights. She's the youngest Peace Nobel Prize received. She received a bullet. She's semi-paralyzed. She's only 23 years old, and she's
Mhm.
still fighting for the rights of girls to be educated on the Middle East. So today we're going to have our second lady of the month, and we have Amelia Earhart. And we are not usually read people before the age of 18 or 17, but we found a picture. And it was funny because Elva and I, we found it at the same time and we exchanged like, yeah, it's the same picture I sent you. Like, yeah, I found it too. That she had a feature when she was around 5 years old that she keep
Yeah.
it until the day she died and actually become stronger and stronger. And the
Mhm.
way her face changed was amazing. So we always go with historical features and we always go with what you ask for. I'm against this Friday live. I need to confess, I don't have any personal against any of them, but I don't watch these kind of shows. But
Mhm.
there has been on the media, and apparently people, it's like they want to know why and how this started. When the Bachelor or Bachelorette, I don't remember, they got together in November, somebody says, we want you to do an analysis to know if this couple is going to make it. And I says, no, they're not only not going to make it, you're going to find out in the media, they'll be going to complaining about this and this about each other. 2 weeks later, they show up in the media saying that they're breaking up, because of this and this and this and this. So when I did not the prediction, because that would be like tarot, when I read them both and I found out that is no way these two are going to be working together, people ask for this. And again, it's against everything that I believe too, but it's about you guys. So on Friday, we're going to be talking about Kenya and Kim. But the funny part is most people is divided is with one another. So we decide to name this live, guess who I don't trust in this picture. And Elva took the time, because this is Elva, I cannot go through the bio of these two. No, it's we want to work together on the face reading, but when we start doing the symmetry on both, we have like, holy cow, really? So if you want to know a little, it's still face reading, it's still body language. We have videos in this case showing both. But guess who I don't trust in this picture? And I'm responsible for this. I don't have anything against any of them. I don't know them. Nobody have a personal issue or personal opinion about any of them, but we just did a face reading, and we wasn't expecting to find the things that we find. So this Friday at 4 p.m., like finally you show up, no? Face reading at a whole new level to reality TV. Barry, we miss you on Friday. Like, yes. I've been asked for some shows and magazine, do readings, and all these shows, like if they're gonna make it, they're not gonna make it, or if they get divorced. This week, they drive me crazy with the royals.
Oh.
The only thing I ask is, do not mention my name. I'm gonna give you the analysis, but do not mention my name. I don't want to be related and ended up in like TV shows talking about like, hello, wonderful lady. Hello, my love. Yeah, we miss you too.
I miss you too.
Happy you miss us. So next, things that we already did and you can review. We are doing short webinars for people who want to learn a specific part of face reading. The first one we did is face reading profile and intro. The second one we did is lips. People went ballistic because you can determine how the sexual desire on someone. And the third one that we did, it was the language of negotiation. It ended up more than 2 hours, 40 minutes. And I need to be honest, I stopped the webinar because I was exhausted. We have the luxury to have two top hostage negotiators going with us through the language that we were analyzing. So the video on the language of negotiation is taking a long time to edit it because there were a lot of Q&A. So we want to make sure that how we edit it. So it's going to be live on Friday. Don't miss it. But if it's one, from all the things that you can watch with us, do not miss is complicated personalities and face reading. IG Nobel Prize winners was granted for eyebrows and narcissism. They found a correlation between both. This is Tuesday, March 16. If you want to know where all our webinars are happening, go to humanbehaviorlab.com/webinar. It's below. It's on the banner that is happening. And remember, this is the places where you can find it. You can find it on the webinar part, or you can find it in the school where you can see all the past webinars and you can purchase face reading and all the classes that are coming. Sales and communications are the next class, face reading and love, and a couple more. March and April are going to be a really productive month. And remember, we are live 2 times a week, Wednesday and Fridays, 4:05 p.m. I only have 2 monitors because I realize I'm going crazy. If it's not, I'm going crazy. Today, Amelia Earhart, first face reading, an amazing woman. And we're going to start with the timeline. She was born July 24, 1897, and December 17, 1903. First success airplane made by the Bright brothers. So she's like was born on the right time.
Yeah.
In 1919, she enrolled in medical school. And she just happened to go to one of this fair, because people don't remember that not too long ago that we used to have fairs where people bring new inventions and things they get attraction. And she was on a fair where she had the chance to be seated on a plane and flying, and she went ballistic. So in 1921, she first flying lesson and bought her first plane. She not only says, I want to learn to fly. No, she bought her own plane. We need to remember 1921, women were fighting to vote. Women were fighting to have equal payment on salaries. And she decided to buy a plane. Hello.
Yeah.
October 1922 set altitude record for female pilot. She had the highest altitude being a female pilot. In May 27, 1927, Charles Lindbergh solo transatlantic flight. So that when she get the idea, I'm like, if he can do it, maybe I can do it too. So 1 year later, first woman to fly across Atlantic Ocean as a passenger and pilot. So when they landed in England, they were the pilot and were the mechanic who were on the plane. And everybody was fascinated with her. And she was like, I was the passenger. Actually, she says, if you can be the pilot, never be the passenger. In another phrase, she says, like, don't interrupt people when they do it what you should be doing. She was a lady today. She wore the pants.
Yeah.
Definitely, she wore the pants.
Yes.
On February 1931, she married George Putnam. He was his agent. He was the one who helped her to get a sponsorship. And some people call it the pimp, but actually without him, she wouldn't have the sponsor or the money and all the donations she had in order to get the plane to do the flight. In August 31, first woman to fly solo coast to coast. Again, women were supposed to be on the kitchen. She fly coast to coast by herself. In 1935, first women in Bendix Trophy race. In 1935, in April, first person to fly solo from LA to Mexico. In 1935, in December, first woman to fly solo from Hawaii to Los Angeles. We need to remember, please, now we have so many rights, even though some people doesn't equal rights and still women in most places, they cannot access to the certain positions and they have less salary than others. We're talking about almost 100 years ago. In March 1937, first attempt to fly around the world. June 1st, 1937, second attempt to fly around the world. And the tragic part is that in June 2nd, 8:43 a.m., the last communication between Amelia Earhart and the tower was spotted. She disappeared, and the flight, and neither the plane, neither her, ever were recovered. There were all these conspiracy theories that is not our job. We are not detective. We only tell you the story, because one of the things is we talk about people on the story, we talk about the stories, and we like, oh, look what they did. But sometimes people do not understand the context of what was happening on the world when this happened to them. So Perry says, no, 2nd of June is my birthday. Like, well, actually, there are some discrepancies, because I found that it says that was June the 3rd, and another historian says July the 2nd. So we put the ones who find the most. But it's not your fault. You haven't been even born at that time period. No. So don't worry. So Amelia Earhart. And I'm going to give it to you. What was coherent between when she was 5 years old, then when she disappeared on 1937? And by the way, her mom was really afraid that she become a tomboy, and
See.
she did everything possible for give her dolls and inspire, like go to the medical school, become a nurse. It's no way. She was a stubborn like a mule. What she won, what she get. By the way, when she got married, when she proposed to get married to Marriott Putman, she says, I gonna be marrying you, but you're not gonna own me. I gonna be my own person.
Yeah.
Hello,
I agree with
bought
her.
to her.
Yeah.
So what she had that it's common between when she was 5 years old until 1937 when she died.
Okay, she had two things. She always want to take risks, and she were stubborn. So those two, being with her since she was little until she died.
And actually, we talk about your daughters that on the
Oh,
evolution all these
yeah.
years, that your daughters have some things that haven't changed, and actually they're defining more similitudes between your husband and you. Hey, Sarah, how you doing, love? Happy to see you here. So she have, if you can see the front, you can see it better on when she was 40. By the way, she died when she was 40. You see the front tooth and the gap. Uh, for an eye trained face reader, you can determine that she still have the gap and the big front tooth. So she must has been a stubborn lady to be raised to.
And taking risks. Imagine that both together. It's like, yeah. And you know what? When you were talking about her mom and putting like be a lady and everything, she avoid every conventional female life. It's like, no way, that's not for me.
No, and there were suspicious, and sometimes she was called to like she was a lesbian because she wore pants and short hair. It was a way to diminish that did she have a character because she was different, or because she was she have character. She need to be diminished, like it was any problem to be gay or be different. Like, oh my God! And the worst part, we're still facing that kind of racism. If you're different, you it's something wrong with
Wrong with
you.
you. Yeah. Yeah. If
God.
you don't fit, you are not like some weird thing. Yeah.
Yeah, something need to be wrong with you. Like
Mhm.
the way you choose you live your life. Is anything wrong with that? God, Lord.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we're gonna start with her face reading. 1920s. She have one thing that changed significantly during all her time is her chin. What
Yeah.
do you see in her, on her chin?
In
What
this,
you would describe her when you see in her in 1920?
okay, in 1920, she were a person like, you know what? I, I'm the if you are critical with her, she felt like I don't like the critics, and she was like talking by feelings from others, so she cared about that in that time.
She was more sensitive, more a people person. She
You're
was
more
like,
people person, yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna try to please you, telling you what you want to hear,
Mhm.
not what I want to say.
Yes.
There is something else with the nose that it's getting more significant with time, and has to do with this bridge.
Yeah.
What do you see?
Yeah, she's okay. In that picture, in that moment, she became self-made. She started doing her things by her own, don't waiting for no one to do it. She were like, okay, I want to do this, I'll go for it. In that time, and you know what, there's another thing that got my attention. Her
Yes.
forehead. When I was looking at her, wow, she has a really big forehead. She
Yeah.
covered the half of the forehead, but she has a really big forehead.
Sarah says she's so beautiful. She was beautiful inside and out.
Yeah, both.
We have every time that I fly and I see a female captain get in you live in the plane, that usually they're waiting for everybody to leave, and I do this and like, thank you for Landa's safe and for being a female captain. And most of them, they look at you and like, yeah, Amelia Earhart made it possible, and I'm so proud that to be a female and have a female captain land us safe. And most of them, like, they get blush and say thank you, like, oh, she inspired me to be flying the plane today, and show it that we can do it as well as everybody can say it. You can tell it's showing her eyes. Yep, she has sweet eyes.
Yeah,
but she has something. This picture was taken at the time that she was, I don't know, forced, but she was told that she should be a nurse and she should be in a nursing school. And you're going to see a little white under the eyes. You can see the white. She wasn't connected when what she doing. She was going to a struggle and a stress situation at the moment this picture was taken. And even though you can think that she's smiling, if I cover the mouth, try to cover the mouth and looking in the eyes. Forget about the mouth. The mouth. Don't look the mouth. Look in the eyes. Do you see a person that is smiling or only putting for the picture? You don't see any crossfit.
No.
In this picture, we didn't have Photoshop, so it wasn't retouched. And another thing, she always expected the worst, and she always was ready to see what is the next battle that I need to fight. She was a fighter. She had the eyes angled down, and she always, in one way or another, she have a, like it says, a big forehead. But what she did with her always,
she put bangs.
Yeah.
So she's covering half of her intelligence. So she was so smart, so intelligent that she covered it because she don't want to see it. People see it.
If we need to talk about the zone 1, 2, and 3, what is the number one? Zone 1.
1, the first one.
What is the second one stronger?
The lower one. The third one. Sorry, the third one.
The doer. And the third one is, let's see how your feelings are doing. Even though she have a chin who was more prompt to talk to others and be kind with others. Pay attention to the chin, please. Put in your head the chin, because when people says the faces are not changing, and at this point we didn't have a plastic surgery, so it's no way the changes that you're going to see now has either to do. This picture was 17 years before she died, so this picture was taken at the age of 23rd. So this one, this is when she started flying. Oh, by the way, I forgot something. Do you see what kind of proxemic and eyebrows she have?
Yes, she has the kind of eyebrows that she cares about the knowledge. She always made her homework, and she were more like processed information really fast in that time. So yeah, she were like really like to know about everything, really want to research and being right with things, because it's not because she was mean, it's because she know about it. She know what she were talking about.
Hi, Christine. Thank you for being here. So now pay attention to the eyebrows. Pay attention to the proxemic, the distance between the eyelids and the eyebrows, and pay attention to the chin. And by the way, I'm all twisted because I decide to become healthy and I start exercising and eating healthy, and I mess it up one of my toes. Like, yeah, being healthy is gonna kill me. God, I haven't gone to the gym in 49 years. What I'm doing, trying to like walk 6 miles every day. Third day and I mess it up, my plantar. God, hurt. And so I have my legs up with eyes since this morning. So this picture is 8 years later. Can you see the chin? How it start changing?
Yeah. Start putting like bigger and straight.
And not only that, not only the chin become bigger, straight, and become more protruding. It's my way or the highway. Somebody,
I know someone like that. I think I know someone.
I don't know what you're talking about.
And you know what? And I'm going to keep saying it. In your case, the change were like between how many months? 3? 2?
Not even that. I think actually we didn't even realize until one of my pictures show up in a media, and you called me like, Susan, what happened with your chin?
Oh, yeah.
I'm saying like it were, I would say easy 6 weeks, and where when we grow too fast and we need to hire more people and we need to have media people, and I hire an agent to manage my keynote speaking, and there were so many things happen, then I didn't have time to sugarcoat it. So my round chin went to straight chin, bigger chin, like I need to get it done. This is your job, go and do it. Another thing that it changed is the eyebrows.
Yes.
It's crazy that there has to do with process where from knowledge, being right based on knowledge, to round when her chin, that is the decision, is how I gonna do it, and I will gonna do it, become more straight. She cared about others and process information through the stories that happen with others. But what happened when you have somebody with round chin, and if you see the proxemics start getting bigger, the distance between the eyelids and the eyebrows bigger, and the change it. What do you mean, Elba?
When you start the proxemics start just like growing, she start putting distance between her and people. Even though she thinks she processed information by story, and here is one thing that make coherence, because she became a writer, and she started writing the stories about her flights. And I think it makes coherence with that.
She become a storytelling, becoming about the past, the story. She become journaling. She become, and was a point where other women start approaching to her as a model. So she was start getting conscious that she was getting a model of what she want, and that is the point when she started thinking. That was just before she got married. She got married 3 years later. And that's when she started planning the solo flight. So if I found my mouse, here we go. Now we go into 1937. This is the year that we lost Amelia Earhart. So what happened? One of the consistencies is she always covered her forehead.
Yes.
And again, most people think that her husband, Putman, was behind all the ideas and all the business, but actually he was the one who was negotiating, because was a point in where women cannot negotiate, and he was doing the negotiation, but she was behind absolutely every step. So for the ones who, and again, we do a lot of research before we get to any live, and everything shows that she was the brain behind the ideas. And by the way, she did everything she planned to do. I don't know if she would have disappeared on June 1937, what she would have accomplished, and where she would take aviation to the next step for women. It was amazing. So no eyebrows. We can see that she didn't have any eyelids. The eyelids disappear. And can you see the size of the chin, the size of the front tooth, and the size of the gap? Elba, which one do you want to take?
I want to take the chin, because here it's one thing. You can notice, you can see a shadow here, but it's not the critical line. It's the protruding chin, because it's the difference. And that's how we have to make it, because there's a difference. She became more like, you know what? I'm doing this. I don't care what you think. I'm going to fly. This is what I want, and I go for it. And I don't care if you think it's good, if you think it's wrong. It's the things that I want to do. And she started putting things out there. Like, if you want it, take it. If not, it's not my problem. She became more like being without filters, saying things.
More assertive.
More assertive.
In English, they call it more assertive to synthesize it. But it's crazy that when she finally got what she was looking for, so desperate, her eyebrows disappear. She became a chameleon. She was orchestrating everything on a way that nobody knew that is going to happen until it was announced on the media. She kept it really secret. She was like doing Hawaii to LA to Mexico, coast to coast. But at one point says, I will gonna fly around the world by myself. And she announced it on the media, and she didn't give any approach to, so nobody can stop her. That's the reason why chameleon eyebrows fascinated me personally, because you never know what it's coming on. Can be a storm or 2 dozen of roses, but something is coming with chameleon eyebrows, believe me. And that shows what we had been talking a lot of times. From the age of 23 to the age of 40, her eyebrows changed 3 times. And not change it because she was plugged the eyebrows. The shape of the eyebrows is sitting on the top of the orbital bone, and you can see the difference on the eyebrows and how they change it. And her nose, on the bridge of the nose, if you remember, I'm going to show you. So pay attention to the bridge of the nose. You see the bridge of the nose?
Yeah.
So we're going to watch the first picture. You see how thin it was? She went for self-made timid to, you see how thicker start getting and how thicker? And another thing, you see the upper lip?
Yeah.
She stopped talking about feelings. She was less and less emotional. Even though she had always a thinner upper lip, she became less and less emotional and more talkative. It's, you see how the thicker lip is bigger, and you see here. Okay, Thomas, how you doing? There is an interesting theory that Amelia Earhart did not plunge into the Pacific Ocean. Rather, she landed on the reef or garden island. That's what I'm saying in the beginning, Thomas, that there are so many conspiracy theories. And since we're not historians and we don't have any historians to corroborate any of those, we choose to read and honor her life. Her final cable transmission, we have taken in water. My navigator is badly hurt. We are in need of medical care and must have help. We cannot hold as much longer. Yeah, that happened on July 2, 8:43 a.m. But again, they never found the plane. They never found neither her or the technician or the people who was with her on the plane. So is anything else that I'm missing? She always covered her ears. You see that?
Yeah, but you know what? Now that I'm seeing the pictures, we can go to the first one. I just want to correlate something.
She have high ears.
Yes, that's the thing. She had high ears, meaning
You see?
But in the last one, the ears start getting low. Or is the angle? I think it's not too much difference, I know, but
they couldn't have go low, and that's one of the things that we look really a lot about ears, and we couldn't find the ears uncovered. But something that I can tell you, they're high.
Yeah, they're high.
They're high, meaning that she processes information really fast. She wasn't playing around. She processed information fast. She was extremely intelligent. She was a stubborn, who it's amazing to be a stubborn. She put the eye, she put the bullet, and she fought really, really hard to get to where women today are pilot. And I have friends who fight with me like women shouldn't be flying planes, like women shouldn't be shooting guns, and I shoot guns, so don't play with me.
Yeah.
So from the first picture in 1920 to the picture to 1937, we can see the difference on the eyebrows. Even though she never have a really colored eyebrows, we can see the proxemic. She went from low proxemic, high proxemic, low proxemic again. She changed the proxemic. She changed the shape of the eyebrows. She went to chameleon straight eyebrows.
She passed with the 3 kind of eyebrows. She started with pointy, then round, and then straight.
Yeah, straight meaning it's facts and data. I need the plans. I need to know. Some theory says that she was given the wrong coordinates and the wrong map when she was flying. And again, the theory says they did it on purpose, and other people says because she didn't ask for help and she did it by herself. She didn't have the right maps, and that's one of the reasons that she had an accident, because it wasn't clear for her where she was going. But she, at the end of her life, she was a person who was about facts and data. And we are honoring, again, a woman who make a change for us. And you can see the eyes were angled down. At the end, they still angle down, but they're less than when she was 20. Why can be confusing? Because she was more stressed out. Her eyes become smaller because she became more concentrated and she was overwhelmed. This picture was taken a couple of weeks before that she started the trip, who finally she didn't make it. So I cannot imagine the level of stress this woman must has been preparing to be the first woman to cross the wall in a plane. And something that changed. You see the destiny points?
Yeah, the inside. Yeah.
Those are called the destiny points, as people who have a vision for the future, and she had. And the distance between the eyes changed a little. She were more focused to more onto the big picture.
Yeah.
She started to seeing the forest instead to only see the tree. Here she was supposed to be a nurse. Here, the first woman to cross the Atlantic. So this was the story about the before and after, and the story about Amelia Earhart. Do you have anything else to add, Elba, that I'm missing?
No, I think we already talked about that. But for me, the most like huge change for me, and it was like get my attention, was the chin. It's like crazy how the chin changed, being like, okay, I don't want to be like, I'm talking with people, I'm people oriented and things like that, to I don't care what people think. I became more assertive. So yeah, it's crazy how the chin change.
The cheek change, the nose change, the jaw change, everything on her face changed. So when you says now we have so many people with plastic surgery, but at that point it didn't happen. And all the changes on her face there are a reflection and where she was and when she went and what happened when she tragically we lost it. Again, who knows what would happen if she was still alive. So remember this Friday. Yeah, guess my will. Guess who I don't trust in this picture? You asked for it. We're gonna give it to you guys. So this Friday, March 12th at 4:05 p.m. And again, nothing personal. This is completely a profiler standpoint. If you miss any of our webinars, you can go to the first one was we talk about ears, size, height, and low. The second was we talk about lips, and don't miss it because it has to do with the way we express our feelings. It has to do with sexuality too. We give a bonus on that one. And we did the language of negotiation. We have the luxury to have two amazing hostage negotiators on the class. And this is a mistake that I did. It wasn't 2 hours 30 minutes. It was 2 hours 47 minutes.
Yeah.
And I stopped it because I was exhausted. It was so much information, and we only show 3 slides of the 16 pages of the complete class that we have in negotiation. So if you want to know how a real hostage negotiation happen and what you shouldn't be doing, and how important is to use some words that we are not paying attention, I would say this is going to be live on Friday. Next one is Tuesday, March 16. We're going to talk about eyebrows and narcissism. Now you can determine if a person is a narcissist to eyebrows.
That's great.
And Perry, you're not allowed to do an IG with that. So it's going to be next Tuesday, March 16, 8 p.m. It's going to be 2 part of a longest class. It's called Complicated Personalities and Face Reading, where we're going to show all the signs of stress that you can determine in a face through face reading. And remember, you can see all the webinars that you missed in humanbehaviorhackerschool.com, or you can see the webinars coming in Human Behavior Lab, that webinar.com. And if you don't know where to find us, it's every Wednesday and Friday, 4:05 p.m. Central Standard Time. If you want to contact me, you go to susan@humanbehaviorlab.com. If people want to contact you, Elba, where they can go?
You can go to elba@humanbehaviorlab.com.
And we have a couple of classes coming on, so I would say get on board. We're going to be talking about Coco Chanel, and we're going to be talking about Malala, that the youngest Nobel Prize on Peace, that she's fighting for the rights to the girls to study in the Middle East. We already have all the program for the month of April and the month of May, and the lives that we're going to be doing. Christine say thank you, ladies. Thank to you for being here. And the next webinar that we're going to be doing about face reading, we talk about eyelids, because people has been talking about eyelids and level of intimacy. So probably not today, but tomorrow you're going to see the possibility to register from the next webinar. Perry says, thank you, fascinating as always. Thank you very much. Oh, by the way, for the people on the Facebook group, it's a problem related in connecting Facebook with Zoom. We close the account, we open a new one. So apologies, guys. I owe you a couple of classes. We're going to get on top of that. Sarah, thank you very much. I hope you're doing well with your face reading level 1. Let me know how you're doing with the classes. So if we don't have any more questions, my business partner on crime, I have a pile of things to do in classes to prepare in YouTube. Any questions? I don't see neither on YouTube.
I don't see it either. No.
Thomas, you don't have anything to add? He must be sick. Thomas, we know who you are, and we know where to find you. Okay, guys. Elba, thank you, like always, to be on this craziness. And again, the Friday event, it wasn't my idea.
You know what? It's funny because I know that we go through that, but it was like some kind of painful just watching the things and the bios and everything. Oh, yeah.
Hey, Elizabeth. Hey, just gotten on. Well, you can see the recording. Going to watch the replay. Again, it's amazing how many people call me and tell me that they watch the replay. What's happening on Friday? Oh my God, you don't want to miss it. You don't want to miss on Friday. Why? We're going to be talking about Kim Kardashian and Kanye West. Kanye West. I'm sorry, Kanye West. I don't want to be misrespectful to his name. We're going to be talking about the face reading of both. We're going to talk about the evolution and which one, based on face read and symmetry, I wouldn't trust. So on Friday, 4 p.m., I would say, do not miss it. Oh my God, brilliant. Yeah, I was talking this week and like, we do the royals or we do the Kardashians. Like, no, I've been talking about the royals with so many media this week. I'm bored already. Everybody's talking about that. Let's talk about other aspect. Let's talk about the KK. I can't pronounce his name either. Thank you.
Me neither.
I can't. But anyway, I would say, Elizabeth, do not miss it, because I don't know if it's brilliant or not, but sometimes we can misrepresent people and misunderstand where they come into. Do the royals soon. Believe it or not, we have a special with all the royals.
Yeah.
Like we did an analysis and all the royals from the Queen, that to me is fascinating because it's coming from Wallis Simpson and Edward, they abdicated on the throne, and how she ended up being a queen when she was 21. Anyway, I know all the story from the historian standpoint, because I love story and I love where people coming from and how they ended up. And I'm a fan of Wallis Simpson. Then maybe we should do an analysis in Wallis Simpson soon. But I don't like the chit chat of the royals. They are all look alike. Oh yeah, actually, all of them have one significant feature on the face, that some of them, the women who married the two heirs of the throne, they didn't have until they become part of the royal family, and everybody in the royal family, they had it. Inbreeding grateful with its marble eyelash. If you dictating like I do the messages, I didn't get it. I get lost. Inbreeding. Grateful we get marble. I don't know what. She's so beautiful. Oh no, yeah, she's beautiful. And she is one of the royals. What I'm saying is, I don't, because I ask on the media to give profiling about certain people. I do not give personal opinions about them, because again, I was talking to a lot of media. I asked not to use my name because I don't want people to think that I'm biased. That for the same reason, Elba did the research on Kenya and Kim, because I don't want to be look like judgmental, but is that people, it's an hour, always longer than we expected. See you Friday at 4:05.
Yes. Don't miss it.
It's good. It's gonna be fun. People is not expecting to see what we're gonna say. People, Elba, like always, thank you very much for being there. See you Friday.
See you Friday.
Bye, guys.